Okay. So welcome everyone to the Funding and Financing Workshop. This workshop is being held in recognition of Community Futures Week. So if you're unfamiliar with what that stands for, all the Community Futures organizations across Ontario get together and we try to put on some opportunities for our clients and community. So Trendbell, along with 38 other organizations, are recognizing this week. Yesterday we had a pitch your biz workshop, and that went over really well. And then we have today funding and financing, one of our main services here. And then tomorrow we'll be doing a sip and chat open house. And Thursday we will be doing a business startup workshop, and we will be finishing the week on Friday with a cybersecurity workshop. So we have a full lineup. If you haven't checked out any of the other workshops, we encourage you to do so. My name is Amy. I'm the Office and Communications Administrator with the Small Business Center. If you're unfamiliar with the Small Business Center, we're a small business support service for no cost. And we offer services such as one-on-one advisory, workshops and events, grant programs, and much more. Since we're on the topic of funding and financing, I thought it would be fitting just to quickly shout out a couple of our grant programs, especially because they'll be coming up in a couple weeks. So to start, we have our summer company, which is for students 15 to 29 returning to school in the fall. It's a grant for $3,000, and it's to encourage students to choose entrepreneurship and self-employment opposed to part-time work throughout the summer. So we'll be opening that. We'll be doing an information session next Tuesday. I believe it's the 15th of April. I can put the link to that in the chat box, and then we'll be opening for applications for that May 2nd to the 16th, I think it is. So yeah, that's coming up really quick. And then we also have our starter company grant, which is a grant for up to $5,000 based on eligibility. And we'll be opening that, I think it's in a couple of weeks. I don't know the exact date, but I think Luke might be popping on here at some point today. So if you have any questions about that, one of us can answer it for you. And that's one of the grants that we're most well known for. It comes with the whole training and mentorship component as well. So it's really great for all starting and expanding businesses. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thank you everyone for hopping on here today. And thank you to all of the amazing representatives from the organizations that are here to talk to you about what types of opportunities they have to offer. I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Can everyone see my screen?
Good.
Go. Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone to the Funding and Financing Workshop. We're gonna get started with, if I can switch my slide here. We're gonna get started with Eileen Brown from Trendbell. So welcome Eileen, and thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks so much. Welcome everyone that's here to hear a little bit of information about all the different organizations in your area that can assist you with your business needs. So I'm Eileen Brown. I am the loans advisor for Trendbell. So that's a local community futures organization in the Bay of Quinte region. And here, just to give you a little bit of data on that. Next slide.
Oh, right.
So we're a part of a federal program. Originally, we're actually now here 37 years. Community Futures is a network that is in the region, the province, and Canada. There's actually 267 of us across the nation. And we're not for profit. So in Ontario specifically, there are 61. So we've got the north and the northeast and the east and the south. So that just shows you that there are quite a few of us all out there to help you in your business growth. And we serve the rural areas specifically. So that just gives us, that's our region. That's what Amy was talking about earlier, is that there is a group that is starting the Community Futures Week, which we are participating in. It's a great opportunity to showcase our organization and also to bring in partners to come in and show how that we can collaborate together. So as you can see, Trenville's kind of in the center amongst many other organizations, our sister CFs that assist businesses very similar to what we do. So what are we here for? Well, we are a not-for-profit, so we are managed by a volunteer board of directors, and we work alongside other organizations to offer both within ourselves and with other organizations such as a small business center like Amy to do free counseling. We work alongside businesses to help you get to where you need to be for your growth. And that could be a series of different resources from the counseling side to actual financing and investment. So myself, I'm the loans person. So I help people to get the investment that they need to help their, whether it's a startup, an expansion, a succession, or a scale up, or to combine them with other lenders that you're going to hear from today. So our mandate generally is, again, to support entrepreneurship through jobs, new business expansion. We're a catalyst within the community, and here again to promote business and entrepreneurship. Just to give you an idea, couple stats, I won't go through them all, but we have, this organization was established originally in 1985 from a federal point of view, and there's been a huge impact throughout our nation assisting business, specifically in the rural areas, to help grow and to gain leverage. So again, we were established in 87. It just shows the impact that we've had in our area, which is really significant for a small little team. So we have several partners in our area, and some of them are on the call today. So again, it isn't just about one of our organizations, it's about how do we work together. And so as you can see that we serve a fairly large populace because we look at several different small communities coming together. To date, we've done a significant amount of loans since we've started, $45 million worth. If you look at it, over 965, significant amount of leverage, which is other equity, owners equity, private equity, other lenders. And that's contributed to well over 5,000 jobs within our region. We've also involved in community economic development projects, as you can see. So there's another amount that we do helping the community in the not-for-profit area. Those are the regions that we serve. So if any of you are in any of those areas, please reach out if you've got some questions. If you're not, still reach out, because if it isn't us, we will definitely connect you to someone else that can help you. So again, my financing can go up to 300,000. That's kind of on a per entity basis. So that just to give you kind of an idea. Again, don't just get focused on that. I always say the most important thing is when you're, developing your business and you want to get it launched is reach out to us sooner than later. Sometimes it takes a bit of conversation. It takes some meetings. It takes some collaboration to figure out how much you really do need, or what's the right timing. But there's always a lot of steps that are involved in getting to that space. So again, that's kind of the things that we do. We're here with money, but we also do counseling, and we do collaboration, referrals, and empowerment. So again, that just tells you that we are a flexible financer. We serve all sectors. We have rates that go anywhere from around prime and up, depending again on what kind of a financing program it is. We are very flexible, And we are also not-for-profit. We're very hands-on. So that's the other really, I think, gem in our organizations is that we are very similar to banks, but we're not as heavily regulated. We do have some different flexibilities. And so we can really look at the business or the entrepreneur kind of where they are at that time. So it's not always directed by a bunch of other rules, not that we don't have some, we do, but we are more flexible and more hands-on. So this just gives you an idea of, some of the collaborations that we can do and we have been doing and we will continue to do so. So we work with other CFs and other organizations that are around us and the banks. So whether it's a traditional bank or BDC, we also work alongside of some other investment type groups. That's where the Sown and Kindle comes from. So again, it really depends on what the fit is for the client. And then we have got some other people on the call that will talk a bit about their programs that I've got listed here as well. So again, it's really about partnerships and collaboration and finding the right fit for the right client. If I get somebody that comes in here and maybe they tell me everything that they need and it isn't something that I'm the best fit for, obviously that I'll be looking at that, but what our job here, and I'm sure other people will say the same thing, is about making sure it's the right formula for that client. So sometimes it's about a referral. Sometimes it's about bringing in somebody else. This just gives you an example of some of the agreements that we have done in the past where we've brought in other lenders because maybe that's just the right formula. And we have certain agreements. A pari passu, probably some of you are thinking, what is that? Well, that's a shared risk security agreement that we have done in the past. And sometimes that's necessary on a bigger acquisition type thing. Or maybe we'll bring in Futurepreneur and he's here on the call today. He'll explain that a little bit. So we've got really some great tools that can help to fit the project the best way it can be fit. Again, just some other examples. We also work alongside with the municipalities. We do have some programs alongside of our local municipalities around sort of commercial improvement area or community improvement area. We've worked with the city of Belleville, and we've also are doing a program with the city of Quinte West. We were also open to work with any of our municipalities on finding ways that we can help support any kind of revitalization or improvement plans that they have. We do have some pre-approved financing that's based on their approvals at specialized rates. So again, we're here to help in any kind of space that we can. And so I won't speak too heavily on this because we have an expert here on the panel, but also, again, this is another collaboration that we do in the innovation zone. So we have an organization that will speak to you about what that really looks like. But sometimes if a client comes to me and they really fit into this space, then that's a strong referral for them. And again, they serve a little bit of a different region than I do. It's more throughout the full province. And then Michelle Cathers will speak to you a bit more about that on her presentation. Again, this is just a quick overview of different kind of resources that you can search out, whether you come into us or on your own. There is both a federal and provincial resources out there. This is just a sample of one. And again, Ontario also. So each organization, whether it's federal or provincial, Small Business Center, they're kind of more provincial, we're kind of more federal, but regardless of where our roots come from in that space, we all kind of work together and there's always different programs that we can look at to help with whatever the issues are of the day. Like we went through COVID, there were things for that. I think there will be some things coming forward with the tariffs. I'm not sure yet. Right now, it seems like we're all kind of watching and waiting, but I know that there'll be some things that'll be rolled out for that. I know there already are some programs, not as much that we're doing, but that is yet to be heard. And again, this is where we're located. We have a ton of partners just in our little space here, the Small Business Center. So some of these are changing, some of these organizations, but it's essentially what you see here is just a big conglomeration of different organizations. You've got manufacturing, you've got real economic through the Bay of Quinte. You have the Small Business Center, though College will have some things that they can do from a training perspective, BDC and ourselves. And again, we have lots of people on the call that will fit into some of these spaces. I know we have someone from Paro today. She'll talk about her peer support. And there's other organizations that are not on the call today, like the Quinte Local Immigration Partnership. There's the Center for Workforce Development. And then some of the other chambers that are not represented here. So there's a lot of organizations basically that are out there to assist business. So I get it that you're on the call for financing and funding, and that's important. We all need money and we all need leverage to support our business. But please always, my advice is reach out sooner than later, because sometimes there is investment just in advice and finding the right fit or the right channels for your business growth. And again, just some more examples of the multiple amount of partners that are out there to help. EDC specifically there on export. So there are some other organizations depending on where your business might fit. And we're here to help connect you the best way that we can. And that's pretty much it from Trenval. So thanks again, everyone, for coming. Please always don't be afraid to reach out to any of us, and we'll help you any way we can.
Thank you, Eileen. That was excellent. So next we'll hear from Samuel Fortier from Futurepreneur.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Forte. I'm with Futurepreneur. I'm a senior business development manager at Futurepreneur, which basically means I work with people who are looking to learn more about our programs, and I help them kind of through the process of potentially applying for a program. So we're just going to take you through a few slides. You can go to the next one. So kind of going to talk about who we are, what we do, some of our entrepreneurs that we've helped, a few of our programs, and then our partnerships. So we're a purpose-driven organization. We're basically the only national nonprofit that's dedicated to providing financing and mentorship for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs between the age of 18 and 39. And we have a strong focus on helping diverse entrepreneurs as well. We provide financing up to $75,000, collateral free, as well as mentorship for entrepreneurs. So yeah, again, basically we help entrepreneurs. So just a bit about our history. So we've been around since 1996. We have changed our name since then. We used to be the Canadian Youth Business Foundation. In 2001 is when we first partnered with the Government of Canada and got our first funding from them. And in 2008, we developed a partnership with the BDC, which allowed us to provide additional funding to our young entrepreneurs. In 2014 is when we rebranded to Futurepreneur and no longer the Canadian Youth Business Foundation. I keep telling people that Futurepreneur has been around for 25 years, but I guess at this point, it's a little bit more than that, more like 28 or 29 years. So over that amount of time, we've helped more than 15,000 young entrepreneurs start businesses. So yeah, these are just a few stats about Futurepreneur over the years. As I mentioned, we've helped over, I guess now, 18,000 entrepreneurs start businesses. Out of those businesses, 42% of them are women-led, 15% are Black-led, and 5% have Indigenous founders. I won't go through all of these stats, but we can move to the next slide. So a few more stats. Some of these are pretty interesting. So 80% of our clients say we've helped them succeed, or that their business would have grown slower or not at all without our support. And 69% of businesses we've helped are still thriving 6+ years later. So that may not seem that impressive, but that's 30% more than an average business. So it is quite the difference. This just shows our impact across the country. As you could see, Ontario and Quebec, we've helped more people there, but that makes sense because they're the most heavily populated provinces. I personally work mainly in Eastern Ontario, so Belleville, Quinte West, all of that, and then I go up to Ottawa as well. So yeah, as I kind of briefly mentioned, we provide accessible financing of up to $75,000 in collaboration with the BDC, as well as one-on-one mentorship for those entrepreneurs. So basically, if you get financing through Futurepreneur, we also match you with a mentor for 2 years. We also have our Rock My Business series, which is a series of webinars. I'll touch more on that later on. And we do provide several networking opportunities, either virtually or in person in different regions. So here are a few of the programs that we offer. We have our startup program, our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, or Indigenous Entrepreneur Startup Program, and our Side Hustle Program. The three first ones are pretty similar in nature in that they provide up to $75,000 in collateral-free loan financing and that one-on-one mentorship. The difference being that the Black Entrepreneurship Program, you have the opportunity for follow-on financing of up to $40,000 after 2 years. And you'll also be working with members of the Black community if you go through that program. Likewise, with the Indigenous Entrepreneur Startup Program, you'll be working with members of the Indigenous community. The Side Hustle Program is a bit different. This is if you have a full-time job and you're looking to start a business on the side, or you have started a business on the side and you do want to kind of grow that a little bit. Then the Side Hustle Program could provide up to $25,000 in loan financing, again, collateral free. That also comes with the 2 years of one-on-one mentorship. Okay, so yeah, let's just talk about mentorship a little bit. So the mentor that we match you with is not going to do the work for you, but they will help you get to where you're going a little bit faster. So basically, they'll be an expert, either a specialist in something like marketing or sales or finance or something like that, or there'll be somebody who has successfully run a similar type of business to what you're running. Maybe their niche is different, maybe they're located somewhere else in the country, but somebody you can kind of bounce ideas off of. Only 22% of small businesses had mentors when they started. And I don't know about you, but when you start a business, it can be pretty lonely. So having that mentor can really help you move along a lot faster. Yeah, so these other stats basically just say like people who don't have mentors when they started their business or didn't have mentors when they started their business think they would have benefited greatly from having that. So okay, let's talk a little bit about eligibility. So you have to be between the age of 18 and 39. You have to be a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen. Those are the two main things, as well as we do look at credit, at your credit report. So since this is a collateral-free loan, which means you don't have to put anything against the loan. You don't have to put any of your equipment or anything like that against the loan. Basically, sorry, we do look at your credit report. So the credit report does become important here, but it doesn't mean that you have to have perfect credit to apply. It just means that it's an important factor. In terms of employment, so for the startup program, we don't require that you're currently working or anything like that. But if you're a student, you do have to be in your final year of studies to be eligible. However, for the side hustle program, we do want to see that you have a source of sustainable full-time income outside of the business. We don't want you to be relying on the business for your income. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the terms. So for the startup program, if you could apply for a maximum of 75,000, 25,000 of that, or up to 25,000 of that comes from Futurepreneur. The other 50,000 comes from BDC. Our rate is bank prime plus 3%. Right now that's 7.95. BDC's rate is BDC's floating base rate plus 1.65%. That's currently 8.7%. In both cases, the first year is interest-only payments, and then starting in the second year, you start paying the principal and interest. So that allows you a bit of runway while you're starting out. You do still have to make payments, but the payments are a lot lower while you're starting out. You'll see here, there's also just a small fee at the time of disbursement for our loans, but nothing major.
Do you have to be part of the loan to access this program, or can you just apply and just for the mentoring aspect of it?
So the loan and the mentorship are linked together, but any loan amount, you will get the same mentorship. So even if you apply for $5,000 loan, you still get the mentorship, but you do have to have financing through us to get the mentorship.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So this just is the kind of like, depending on where you're at, what we recommend the next step is for you. So if you're at the idea stage, we recommend attending our Rock My Business workshop series. If you need more help with your business plan, you could visit our business resource center on our website. So there's a ton of free resources there, including like mock business plans for different kinds of businesses. Like there's a mock business plan for a construction business. There's one for a food business. There's probably like 20 different ones. So take a look at that. You could also contact us. We do have some, we do provide some assistance in creating your business plan. If you're at the stage where you're looking for financing and mentorship, you can contact me directly. I'll share my email in the chat afterwards. And yeah, if you need financing, again, just contact me, or you can apply online, but I always recommend having a chat with me first, just to make sure you're eligible and not to waste anybody's time. This is kind of just the process. So once you register online, you'll start your application. And then after you apply, we'll run a credit check. We'll thoroughly review your documents and all that. And assuming everything's good, we'll match you with a mentor and you'll receive the funding. So yeah, we're just going to talk about a few of our entrepreneurs that we've worked with. So you might recognize some of these. One of my favorites is here. I'm Ottawa based, so Mushu Ice Cream is an ice cream spot here that I love, and we helped her launch about 8 years ago. A few noticeable ones that you might recognize. So Skip the Dishes is one that came through Futurepreneur several years ago. And obviously they've done pretty well. Joanna Griffiths and Nix. So she had the largest exit by a female founder in Canadian history at $540 million a couple of years ago. And then she was also on our board of directors for a while. And Marjorie, she's done very well. She has a jewelry business that has done very well in Canada and the US. A few more, I won't dive too much into it, but Good Food you might recognize. Property Guys, so now it's a franchise, but it started in New Brunswick. We helped them launch, and Frank and Oak, which you may recognize. They're like a retail clothing store. This is a quote from Joanna. Basically, she wasn't able to get any funding. The bank wouldn't even give her a credit card. And she came through Futurepreneur, and the rest is history. She sold her company for several $100 million several years later. So it just goes to show, like, we do work with different kinds of businesses, large and small. It could be just a small mom and pop shop, restaurant, whatnot. It doesn't have to be something that has crazy ambitions, although some of those businesses still come through us and do very well. So yeah, let's talk about a few of the kind of initiatives that we have. So the Opicuan series, this is put on by our Indigenous Entrepreneur Startup team. And it's a series of workshops. So there's one in the winter, one in the spring, one in the summer, and one in the fall. So I invite you to look into that a little bit more on our website. So yeah, I didn't really go over this too much, but we do also provide financing if you want to buy a business, not just to start from scratch. You can buy a business as well. And we have an Owners Wanted program, which is basically a series that's there to help prospective business buyers wrap their head around what's needed to buy a business. So there's different workshops that are offered at different times of the year. So if you want to take a look at that online on our website, you can get more information about that as well. And then lastly, we have my Canadian Startup Initiative, which we worked with TD on. And it's basically an initiative that's there to help newcomers to Canada get started in business. One of the really cool things about this initiative, our team put together like a 20-page e-guide on starting a business as a newcomer to Canada, but it's very, very in-depth, what you need to do to get started, and that's available online for free. This initiative also includes some workshops, both in person and virtual, which you could find the links to on our website as well. Oh yeah, so I said we would talk about this a little bit more. So here we are. Our Rock My Business series is a series of 3 workshops. So Rock My Business Idea, Rock My Business Plan, and Rock My Cash Flow. So those are free and they happen every 2 months. All right, we can skip over this. I think we're a little bit over time. And yeah, this as well. So I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks so much, Sam. Was there any questions or anything for Sam?
Looks like there's a question in the chat.
Okay. Now to locate that.
Okay, so I've got it. So for us, for Futurepreneur, really that criteria is the criteria that we need in order to support the business in terms of the age, the permanent residency, and whatnot. There are other partners on this call, however, who don't have necessarily those same restrictions, especially around age. So stay tuned. I'm sure you'll get some information there.
Okay. So next up is BDC, and we have Lauren Morton with us. I'm not sure, is she on?
Yep, I'm right
Yeah,
here.
oh, okay, perfect. Hey.
Hey, Amy.
So
thank you
I'll
for
just hand
having
it
me.
over to Lauren.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy, for having me, and happy CF week. I'm excited to celebrate with you guys this week. As Amy mentioned, I'm Lauren Morton. I work with the Business Development Bank of Canada, also known as BDC. I'm personally located in our Belleville office, which, as Eileen mentioned, is right in the same building as Trendval and the Small Business Center. So we often work as a team all under the one building here. I work along two colleagues in the Belleville office, Amelia Campbell, who's our senior account manager, and Derek Morgan, who's our manager of major accounts. So who's BDC? How can we help you as an entrepreneur? Well, we are a Crown corporation that provides funding as well as advisory services to entrepreneurs all throughout Canada. As mentioned, our funding is a large part of what we do, but our advisory services is really our little golden gem. For funding, we're not your typical chartered bank. We don't offer you the day-to-day business banking services like TD, Scotia, and RBC. We don't do bank accounts. We don't do credit cards or lines of credit. Our funding is for long-term debt. We work with entrepreneurs on many different projects. We cover things like buying a brand new building or an older building, buying a business, funding for working capital, equipment, even construction. So we cover a lot of different projects for entrepreneurs. We cover smaller projects under 100,000, and we even cover large projects over 25 million. So we offer a vast array of funding options. The biggest thing that I'm proud of is we really work with entrepreneurs to see them succeed. So for example, one thing that we offer entrepreneurs is up to a year of principal free, so interest only payments. And the reason we do this is we recognize that sometimes it takes a little bit to see the return on your investment. So if you've purchased a piece of equipment, you may not get the cash flow in right away from it. So we offer flexible financing in the sense of giving you a year of interest only payments so that you can get your feet under you, build up some cash flow before you're hit with the larger principal payments. That's just one example. Depending on the type of loan you're looking for, we always try and work with entrepreneurs to set them up for success. And as Eileen mentioned, we really do value working with our partners. We try to do what's best for the entrepreneur at the time. So we always try to, if we see an opportunity to work with a partner, we really try to take advantage of that and set the entrepreneur up for success and get them on the best path for them at that time. And as I mentioned, the funding is awesome. That's what we all like to talk about. But one thing that is very important is our advisory services. And I think Sam really hit the nail on the head. He said that entrepreneurship can be very lonely at times. And that's why I think our advisory services are so important. As an entrepreneur, you get to wear many different hats that you may not have thought you would wear before. My past, I worked with entrepreneurs in accounting firms where I helped them with financial statements. And the biggest complaint that I heard from entrepreneurs was, I never pictured myself doing financial statements. I never pictured myself being responsible for this. Their passion grew from the operations of the business. And I think that's where BDC can offer a lot of help to entrepreneurs. Our advisory services is a pay for service, and we set you up with either an internal BDC consultant or an external consultant that BDC is approved. And they will help you work through problems in areas that you may not have thought you've been working on, but you want to learn more about and develop your knowledge. And those areas cover large topics like marketing and advertising, HR, financial management, operational management. So they can cover a lot of tricky topics that you might be struggling with. And if you're having one of those days and you need help, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Think of us for both funding and the advisory. And anytime you want to chat about an opportunity or an idea you have, please feel free to reach out to myself or one of my colleagues. And that's all I have for you today, short and sweet. But if you have any questions, I'm sure Amy would be willing to share my email with you. Always reach out. Happy to chat with you guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Any burning questions for Lauren at the moment? Okay, I'll be sending out all the speakers' contact information after the session. So if you would like to ask them individually, you'll have that ability. So we're just gonna move on here. Thanks again, Lauren. And we're going to hear now from, if I can change the slide, Garrett Elliott from Launch Lab. So welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, everybody. My name's Garrett Elliott. I'm the general manager at Launch Lab. We are a regional innovation center, and we're part of a network of regional innovation centers across Ontario. Continuing the theme of advice and support, we provide advisory services for companies, and we do actually have a little bit of funding and financing support, which I'll go into detail a little bit later. If you go to the next slide, that'll give you some context into one more. Thank you. Just to give you some context into the broader network of regional innovation centers, we're funded by the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. So it's provincial tax dollars flowing into a program to support entrepreneurs, typically tech-based entrepreneurs, which I should do air quotes around tech-based because that's a very broad term. But the ministry wants us to work with companies that are scalable and not necessarily selling locally, but potentially selling globally. So if you have friends or family or colleagues elsewhere in Ontario, you can refer them to any of these regional innovation centers, and that can be an entry point into these resources. Next slide, please. Because we're a regional innovation center, our region is actually most of southeastern Ontario. We're physically located in Kingston, so we're happy to be here because sometimes it's almost like out of sight, out of mind in the Quinte region because since we're located in Kingston, we don't get to some of the other regions as often as we'd like to, but we're happy to let you know that we're out there. We're servicing companies in the Quinte area, as well as Smiths Falls, Cornwall, Brockville, Bancroft, and Prince Edward County. This is our team as currently constructed. We have a team of advisors who have various areas of expertise. They've owned businesses, they've sold businesses. We try to pair you up with the individual that we think will be the best fit, depending on what you're doing and what challenges your business is facing. I'm going to go through all of this kind of administration stuff quickly because I think people want to hear about funding. So we'll go to the next slide. This is really our core activity. It's that mentoring piece. We provide advice, guidance, strategy. Sometimes we also offer training and workshops. We offer an expanded network of professionals, not just across the Regional Innovation Center network, but our individual advisors have their own networks and contacts as well. We offer access to market intelligence reports. So if you're just starting your business, you, through Launch Lab, could get access to market intelligence reports that are put together by a team in Toronto at Mars Discovery District, who are one of our partners. So if you're looking for insights on competitors, industry, challenges, maybe funding in that industry, we could get you some access to some of these reports. It's all free. We do a lot around raising investment and valuation and forecasting. If you're looking to raise funding, we usually sit down with you, have a few meetings to look under the hood of your business, make sure everything looks good financially. Maybe you're looking to raise investment, so we can always make an introduction into a local angel investment group. So there are lots of mentorship and kind of strategy options depending on where your business is and what challenges you're facing. And I should say that we work with businesses really across every stage, whether it's an idea on the back of a napkin or you're looking at a succession plan, maybe you're looking to sell your business. So we really kind of have a broad spectrum of clients and age ranges. I'll get into some very specific funding programs that we have because I know that's what the focus is for this session. Typically, we actually don't have a lot of funding program. Really, the funding that we get from the province goes into the mentors that you would spend time with. However, right now we're actually in the middle of a program called the Idea Fund, which is a program that has existed for a few cohorts run by other regional innovation centers. And you can see the Idea Fund delivery partners across the bottom. But Launch Lab has just been added into this program recently for the last cohort. So currently we have 12 companies in Southeastern Ontario that are participating in the Idea Fund. This program gives them a matching $20,000 grant, as well as up to 30,000. That's a lot. 30 hours of mentorship from either one of our advisors or an advisor that's maybe with another organization or one of our partner organizations. So this program is specific for companies that are in clean tech, green tech, circular economy, waste diversion, something to do with an environmental impact. So it's a very specific program for specific companies, but the next cohort will be open on June 16th. So there will be a window available where you can apply online. There's a review team that will score the applications, and then 12 companies will be selected to receive the matching $20,000 grant. So that's called the Idea Fund. I'll put links in the chat where you can review all of these programs and you can follow up if you're interested in applying, or you can ask any questions if you have them. Another program that we have that does have funding attached is called Elevate IP, and that's part of our suite of IP commercialization services. We're really fortunate at LaunchLab because we actually have a patent agent as part of our team. His name's Sean Murray. He's a patent agent in the United States and Canada, and any company that is thinking about filing a patent, filing a trademark, maybe you already have patents and you have to do some office actions or some responses, or you're looking for translations, or you're looking to expand your patent portfolio into other countries, you can sit with Sean on a virtual call like this, and he can give you advice around your IP strategy. And if you think you are ready to work with an IP firm, you can access this program called Elevate IP, which is broken up into a few different tiers that you can see across the bottom for funded support. So in tier 1, that's basically an education piece where you can access either online modules, or you can work with Sean just to learn a little bit more about the world of IP, because it's really kind of its own thing with its own rules and its own language. Tier 2 is really where the funding support starts to come in. So you would have access to funding to work with an IP firm to develop your IP strategy. And that actually is 100% covered by the Elevate IP program. So the company doesn't have to pay anything into the IP strategy development for that program. If you already have an IP strategy and you are looking to actually put to implement the IP, that's when you fall into a tier 3 project. And that isn't quite 100% funded. It's usually between 70 to 90% funded by the program, depending on the makeup of your company. But that program, like it says on the screen, involves implementing your IP strategy. So it could be filing patents, it could be drafting, prosecution, trademark registrations, if you're looking at that. So this is a pretty easy and straightforward program to access funding specific to your IP needs. So it's not a program for everybody. Like I said, it's very specific, but if you're looking at patents, if you're looking at trademarks, this could be an option for you. And the other thing I'll mention, it came up in Eileen's slide earlier, is Kindle. They are the local angel investment group. They're made up of investors from Belleville, Kingston, Brockville, and Cornwall. They have over 100 accredited investors, and they've invested over 80 million in local companies. So it's local money going into local companies. And they're a member of Angel Investors Ontario, which is sort of a larger umbrella organization. They do virtual pitches, kind of like a Dragon's Den scenario, usually every few months. And typically, if companies are looking to pitch to the angel group, we'll work with them on their finance. Like I said, we'll look under the hood and make sure it looks appealing to investors and makes sense. So I always like to put it in the back of people's mind that there is an angel investment group out there, because they're kind of under the radar, but good to know when the time comes. Next slide. Let's just skip back one real quick. This isn't a funding program, but I always like to mention it. We do have an internal marketing team called the Digital Lead Generators. So if you were looking for paid digital advertisement, SEO management, copywriting, email marketing, content creation, videos, that sort of thing, we have a team available that could provide those services for you. So typically at LaunchLab, we provide advice. We don't do the work for you. However, with this program in particular, our marketing team actually does work specifically with the companies to provide their services. And I'll also add, just for clarification, I mentioned it earlier that we're funded by the province. So our advisory services, when you sit down with Sean, our patent agent, or our finance specialist, or our life science person, or whoever, that advisory time is entirely free. It's subsidized by the province, so it's at no charge to you. This program, however, this marketing program is a fee-for-service program, so I always make sure to mention that. And that's really it for my presentation. We don't ask a lot of people. We just ask you to come to our website and fill out an intake form. There's no shortage of intake forms when you're working with resource organizations like those of us on this call. So you'll have to get pretty familiar with entering your company information and all that kind of stuff for intake forms. Once you're in our system, we'll reach out to you, we'll set up a meeting, and we'll see how we can help.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. Okay, so we're gonna move right on, and we're gonna hear from Chantel Frazier from Paro. So welcome, Chantel.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. First slide, please.
There we go.
Yeah, so I've been a business growth advisor with the Paro Center for Women's Enterprise since July 2021, which means I do about 1 day of work for Paro each week. Next slide, please. A little bit about Paro, and like Garrett did, I'm going to be very brief on the things that aren't related to funding. Okay, we've been around for 30 years. We're here to help women and now non-binary entrepreneurs achieve success in their businesses. Next slide, please. We have a whole bunch of different services that we offer, from giving business advice to business camps, which we call biz camps, peer mentoring, networking circles, networking opportunities, all kinds of different things. Next slide, please. The kind of advice we give, because people like me have our own businesses, we've lived starting and growing a business, so we can share advice of things that can help entrepreneurs who are wondering what to do next, including telling people what's on their what Paro services we offer, which includes our Wednesday webinars. We have a variety of webinars, and they range from a whole bunch of topics, from self-care to bookkeeping. You're moving my slides faster than I expected, but that's okay. We also have a bunch of business camps. The thing about go to business camps. Well, I can catch up. Don't move until I say next again, okay, please. All right, for our business camps, we have everything that ranges from ready to start your business, where you're just figuring out what you need to do to start a business, to getting to that stage where you're earning over $250,000 a year in sales and you want to elevate your business. So every 2 months, we offer ready to start your business and a Paro Circle business camp. So the next series runs in May. Those 2 business camps help people who are just starting out, and the circles one is to help people understand more about our circles. Then we've got Jet Setters, which is for people over $50,000 a year in sales, and Elevate over $250,000 a year in sales. And in those 2 business camps, 90% of the women who go through these business camps end up quadrupling their sales or more. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about Prosper Circles. When Paro founded, what they wanted to do was help women get support, because when you have support, when you have a circle of people that you can talk to on a regular basis, that can increase your business success 7-fold. So it was started out to create these circles, accountability circles, and also these circles are access to our microfinancing, which includes a loan and a grant portion. So you have 4 to 7 women who agree to meet regularly, acting as accountability partners for each other, as cheerleaders for each other. And then the first stage of financing is a $500 loan and a $500 grant. Now, some of you are on this call are just thinking about the huge numbers you've just heard by a bunch of the people, partners who are talking today and saying, hey, Chantal, what difference does $1,000 make? There's a woman who participated in a Paro circle right near the beginning of when this all started. She was just getting into the entrepreneurial world. She saw she went to an event like this in person and saw a gorgeous purse. And she said, wow, I'd love to have a purse like that. How do I get something like that? And the woman who owned the purse said, well, actually, we're a purse sales organization, kind of like Avon, for those of us who remember that, but it's a networked marketing thing where you buy the product from the company and you sell it, and you let people get access to those purses. So she ended up getting her Paro loan and grant at the first level, buy the purses so she could sell them. This woman now owns one of the largest construction companies in Northern Ontario. So she leveraged that small business of selling purses to a couple of other businesses to the point where now she doesn't collect purses, she collects heavy equipment. Okay, so it can make a huge change. The second level has $1,000 loan, $1,000 grant, and then there's a $3,000 loan and a $5,000 loan. You have to go through each stage to get to the next one. Once you've gone through the first two stages, you can repeat stage 3 as often as you want, as often as you pay it back. Same thing with stage 5. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Right, WEOC loans. This is a loan program that's funded by the federal government. And since January 2023, Paro has helped over 200 women access just over $9 million total. Okay, so we're the partner for several provinces, and we help people prepare their application, going through the whole application process. We help them figure out how to do their cash flow projections for 2 years. We help them figure out their business plan or their expansion plan if they're not a startup. And we offer ongoing support after they've been approved for the loan, so that as business growth advisors or business counselors, we can help these entrepreneurs navigate some of the difficulties they might come up against while they're part of this program. We have some women who received loans early in 2023 who paid off their $50,000 loans in less than 2 years. And have returned to secure a second loan. So this program's working. Like I said, it's got over $9 million into the hands of women entrepreneurs across Canada. Happy to chat about it. And one of the links I put in the chat was about the WEOC loan specifically. Next slide. Okay, and I really like to be brief so that we can have time for questions. So what I've got up there is our headquarters information. We're headquartered in Thunder Bay. We've got satellite offices in Toronto and in Ottawa. I am located in the glorious city of Quinte West, just down the virtual highway from you, those who are centered in Belleville. And my Paro email is on the screen. I'll also put it in the chat once I'm done with the questions. It's businessgrowth16@paro.ca. And yeah, so that's it. If you go to the next slide, it's, oh, you took off my last slide. All right, go back to my last slide. Okay, are there any questions for me? Devin, you turned on your mic. Do you have a question?
Okay. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them now, or
there's a question in the chat.
There's one in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'd suggest, if you're not sure where to start, is you're welcome to contact me, and I will put my contact information for Paro in the chat after, when we go on to the next person. Paro's a good place to start if you're in ideation and you're a woman and you're not in, the futurepreneur stage or those other things, because we can help you right from that I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start with the Ready to Start a Business camp. And we have weekly webinars like pretty much everybody here. And then we can help you apply for funding. So we're a great place to start. Yeah, and I will put my contact information in the chat because I've seen a couple of people would like to contact me, and then I'll hand it over to the next speaker.
There's one more question from
Oh.
Spencer.
Oh, I missed
Hi,
it.
sorry, I was just wondering, I'm a female, but my husband, who I plan on being partners with in this business, is a male. So would we be eligible or no?
You as a female entrepreneur, woman entrepreneur, are eligible for our services for the WEOC loan and for the Circle funding. You need to have 51% of the company. So
Oh, okay.
my suggestion to you is you own 51% of the company and your husband is welcome to own the other 49%, because that opens a lot of doors to you for women only funding.
Gotcha. Okay, that's excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and good luck to you and your husband starting a new business.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Chantel. We're gonna move on here. We're almost done. So next we're gonna hear from Kim Botry from Delia. Kim on the call. Kim? Okay, I think she's trying to get. Are you there, Kim? You might be having some technical difficulties. Oh, I think I see her. Kim,
I'm
you're
here.
there? Okay, okay, good.
I'm here. Sorry. I did have
That's
to go out and
okay.
come back in. I couldn't get my camera to work. I got kicked out once, and then when I came back in, it wouldn't
Oh
let me.
no.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Got back in just in time. My name's Kim Botry. I'm the loan manager at Inventure. And like Eileen, we are one of her sister CFDCs that we work together with her and many of the other organizations here, BDC, Michelle at Sophie. So there's a huge team. We administer a women's entrepreneurship loan fund called Delia. So this was part of the money that I said Canada allocated back in 2021. So far, we've put out $4.3 million to just over 225 clients in the last couple of years. Our approach to the Women's Entrepreneurship Loan Fund is what we call microloans. So anywhere from 15,000 to 25,000. You can go up to 50, but we've been doing that quick and fast, capital in your account quickly. 15,000 to 25 is normally our average is I think around 18,000. I didn't know you had my slides. Thank you, dear.
I saved them from last time, but I wasn't
All
sure if you
right.
had any
Thank
changes or
you.
updates. But yeah.
So yes, so for-profit businesses, 50% or greater than 50% ownership can be located anywhere in Canada. You have to be 19 years of age to apply, Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and you have to be residing in Canada. So we can go ahead and skip. Maximum business revenues of $2 million a year. Loans are available to all industries and all sectors and all business registration types. We don't do, we haven't done any cooperatives. So funding can be used for pretty much any purpose as long as it makes sense. That's fine. You can go ahead, Amy. Suitability. So we're looking for somebody who we're going to look at if you have your proper business skills and skill set, experience, if you're an underserved or underrepresented group. And so we have a team that looks at everything. So we use credit scores, but we don't have a cutoff. We look at the whole bureau. We use other scoring items, but we don't solely rely on them. So we look at the whole story with these entrepreneurs that apply, because even though the loans may be smaller, we don't want to get them into trouble. And if they do need other supports, we refer them to other organizations in their area, like WeBC or other organizations, like if they're in BC, or depending on the type of help they need. But really, how we administer the fund is solely we finance. So if you need funding and you need it fairly quickly, then that's what we do, because we want to support women's full participation in the economy. It's smart for Canada. It's smart for the economy as a whole, and that's what we're trying to do. So you can go to the next slide if you want, Amy. So what we look at is a maximum of 50,000. We have a 2-year standard term on our smaller loans. So we've had quite a few clients pay back their small loan and get another one and keep going. We're at prime +2 to prime +4. So the maximum right now is 8.95%. We do secure them with a general security agreement. For corporations, we take personal guarantees. We assign your insurance. But other than that, that's all that we take. And it's non-dilutive money. So I'll just stay here for a second, because since last year, we do have a new product. We have a product called Attica, which is access to innovation capital for accelerators, and that we deliver through Delia. So BioEnterprise Canada, Boundless, and sorry, I got all mine. And we have one other partner refer their clients to us, and that have been getting support with them. Maybe they've accessed Idea Fund, but they need that little bit more money until they start raising seed financing. And that's where we come in, and we will give them a $50,000 loan. And we have preferred terms for that because they are access to innovation capital. So they get 12 months of interest only payments, and then they pay the balance off over 4 years. So the maximum is 60 months. This product we launched last June, and it has been very successful. We've already put out 14 loans, I believe. They also have the option, if the clients want to do a convertible debenture, we have another fund that they can get that through, but that's not through Delia. So Delia is, our loan offerings are evolving to meet the need of women entrepreneurs. And we're using this funnel through Boundless and other accelerators to identify high potential women companies that just need a little. You think $50,000 would not be much in the space that they're in, but sometimes it's enough to get them through to the next stage so that they can raise money for their businesses to move forward. So you can go ahead, sorry, Amy. Trying to keep it quick for you. The application process, you just go on our website, hit apply now, and it will take you to our online application. So our application right now is set up that you do like a general app, and then you pick Delia, and then it will ask you some specific questions for that program, and you attach your documents. So very similar to probably most people's application process. And tips for applying: make sure you have all your documents ready before you start. It just makes everything so much easier. There's a full application guide on our website that tells you everything you're going to need, which is not that much. And it says applications can be completed in half an hour. It's usually a lot quicker than half an hour, but if you are not used to using the computer, it might be about half an hour. And that just tells you a few of the things. So if you're a startup, we do want a business plan. We would like your resume and at least 12 months of financial forecasting. And we're going to want all your personal identification and identification for the business. So we let you know. We let you know that we're working on your application, so you're informed all the way through the process. But we also may ask for more specific information on each one. So it's not like it comes in, it gets a score, it's a yes or a no. We do work very closely with the client to find out what their story is and what's going on. Everything's closed by digital signature. Funds are released via electronic funds transfer. The only thing that we ask for before closing is proof of insurance and void check, so we can deposit the money and use that account to pay your loan payments. Anybody have any? Sorry, I went through that really fast, but the main
Totally
thing
fine.
is that it's here to support women entrepreneurs that need capital, that need it fairly quickly, that have a plan in place and are moving forward. We're not writing business plans with people. We're not doing any of that support. Like I said, we are more, if they need support, we make sure that they're lined up with support, but we're more about they're already at that stage and they just need funding. They're not able to get it anywhere else because maybe they're in a, in a very underserved group. Or they can get a little bit, but not enough, and ours tops it up. We have many success stories from all around Ontario and Canada, and we work with many partners very closely. The Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, EDC, the Scotiabank Women's Initiative, obviously BDC, WeBe Canada, Futurepreneur. A lot of our clients are also Futurepreneur clients. And it's Green Center Canada is our other partner we work with. So basically they are funneling their clients to us, but we have MOUs specifically with them. We do accept applications from innovation centers all over Canada if they have clients that need assistance. I would like to also remind you about our Strike Up conference. I don't know if any of you attended Strike Up this year. It was really good. Jillian Harris was an amazing keynote speaker. It will be out for you to, or I think it's already out that you can watch it. But if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, I would watch Jillian Harris's address because it was really good. Chantal, I think by that cheering, yeah, you were there. It was really good this year. So if you get the chance, sign up for Strike Up. They also run Strike Up Connects, which has different webinars all the time, which are really good through a lot of our partners, and they're free. So if you get a chance, strikeup.ca for that. Anyway, thank you very much
Kim.
for your time today. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. I'm not sure. I don't see any questions at this moment. So if you have any questions for Kim, you'll be able to contact her after. We're going to move right into our final speaker. We're going to hear from Michelle Cathers from Sophie. So yeah, we're just going to round it all out. And then, yeah, take it away, Michelle.
Great. Thanks, Amy. And if you could, yeah, thank you. So good morning, everyone. First off, I would like to say I am not Sophie. People call me Sophie all the time, but that is not my name. I am Michelle Cathers. I have been the program manager for the Sophie program for over 8 years now. And prior to that, I actually worked in the local community futures office here in Peterborough. So I've been doing a lot of small business lending for a lot of years. Next slide, Amy. So just a quick kind of impact stats to kick off the presentation. The Sophie program has been around for 13 years now. And in those 13 years, we've lent $63 million into the ecosystem in Eastern Ontario. So it's a very impactful program for those businesses that fit. We've been able to assist 124 businesses through loans, and those businesses have gone on to raise an additional $140 million for their businesses. And sorry, that should say 5,000, not 2,000. They have created over 5,000 jobs in the, again, the ecosystem in Eastern Ontario. So huge impact for the dollars that we've been able to lend out to assist these businesses. So the SOFI program is a little bit different than some of the other programs that you have heard about this morning. We strictly focus on innovation. So we are looking for innovative companies who have a unique and novel product or service, or they're developing a new process, or they've adopted new technologies, new ways of doing things, or accessing brand new markets. So the thing to think about here is, if you've heard from people, that's really cool, that's really wow, that's the kind of business that we're looking to talk to. Next slide, please. Amy, can you change my slides, please? Thank you. So in 2012, the program was started with a $55 million investment from FedDev Ontario. So that is the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario. And we have grown the program over the last 13 years. Like other government programs, we have those special priority groups, those underserved groups that we are targeting to assist more. Women, youth, Indigenous peoples, newcomers to Canada within the last 5 years, and entrepreneurs in rural geographic areas. So that is why we are talking about our SOFI Rural Initiative today. So we've added additional flexibility to the SOFI program, recognizing that entrepreneurs and businesses in rural areas grow a little bit differently than they do in the larger urban centers like Toronto or Ottawa, or even Kingston. We're very proud to say that our program is a self-sustaining or evergreen program. So it doesn't disappear at the end of March like some other government programs do. We don't have to worry about buckets of money being filled back up. We manage the investment fund ourselves. And what the program provides is loan financing. And we are specifically targeting high growth, innovative companies. And we can offer loans between $150,000 and $500,000 to those businesses that qualify. Next slide, please. So for the SOFI Rural Loan product, again, we offer those loans ranging between $150,000 and $500,000. We can go up to $1 million on exception basis, but I always tell businesses who are looking for that style of funding, let's have a conversation first to see what your needs really are and what you're able to afford from a repayability perspective as well. Competitive interest rates, they are dropping. So they're a little bit less than 12 to 16%. It is based on a prime plus model like some of the other programs are. But because we focus on the technology and innovation space, a lot of these clients are a little bit riskier. Other banks or other programs may not be able to help them because they don't have a number of assets to secure the loan. So our decisions around our interest rates are based on the risk profile of the business. We have flexible amortization periods up to 10 years. And a great thing about our program, it's open and penalty free for those loans to be repaid at any time. We don't charge any fees to apply. So it is free for the client to apply for the program. And we're also willing to subordinate to other lenders. So we play nice with all of the other funders that are here today. That's more for the comment or for the funders on this call. But it's good to know as a business applying for a variety of funding programs that we all work together. So, the biggest message is there's no wrong door. Even if you aren't a fit for my particular program, I will connect you with other programs that may be a better fit based on what your business needs are. And the special piece of what our SOFI Rural funding can do is we're offering special incentives for those rural-based businesses. So the interest rates are a little bit less, the amortization periods are a little bit longer. Again, recognizing that rural businesses grow differently, and we want to be there to be able to support by offering flexible and patient capital. So the program itself is offered across Southern Ontario. Our office covers all of Eastern Ontario. So all of the CFDC catchment areas in Eastern Ontario, plus Ottawa, Toronto, Kingston, and Durham region. So I'm a very busy lady, and we rely heavily on our referral partners to help make the connections and help point those businesses that do qualify in the right direction. The white areas of this map are all eligible for the SOFI rural initiatives. Next slide, please. So again, I won't talk too much. You've listened to us talk for almost an hour and a half now, but we do have criteria that will help clients determine whether they are a fit for the program or not. But my biggest thing, my biggest comment to everyone is, please don't self-disqualify from any program. Have a conversation with us, because we have ways of being flexible and creative to help businesses qualify for the programs. So what we look for in an ideal applicant, we are looking for-profit corporations. We are looking for those innovative businesses who are truly doing something unique and novel. We are looking for companies who are already generating revenue. So we don't fund startups. There are many other organizations here today that do. We are looking for companies that are looking to scale their businesses and need capital to do that. We look for an experienced management team, employment growth targets of growing the business to 50 employees. We also look for matched funding. So it's important for clients to be working with other funders on this call, because we all have different requirements, and it's great to be able to access as many programs as possible because we all work together very well. Next slide, please. So again, I won't talk about all these businesses, but this is innovation. These are specific examples of what innovation can be in rural Eastern Ontario. There are quite a few from the Belleville area, but I would say if you know of these businesses, you know, have a peek and check out their products. On the sofi.ca site, there is a listing of all of the businesses that have been supported by the program, if you're interested to see the type of innovation that we have funded in the past. And we wouldn't be here without our referral partners. I feel like everyone knows everyone in the ecosystem. And again, just reinforcing that no wrong door approach to what we do. We're all very passionate about helping entrepreneurs. And if my program or our program is not the right fit, I will make sure that I can connect you to another program that may be a better fit for your particular funding needs at that time. That's all I have. Again, if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me. Let's have a conversation to figure out what your best needs are. So thank you to Amy and the Small Business Center for the opportunity today.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Can everyone see like the proper screen now, or okay? Thank you so much to all the speakers for giving your time to share what your organizations have to offer. It's been greatly beneficial for everyone on the call. I don't think there's any questions in the chat. I'll just take a double check. Nope. Okay, so if anyone has any questions or anything, I'll be sharing the speaker's contact information, so you'll be able to reach them that way. And other than that, thank you everyone for joining us today, and happy Community Teachers Week. Thanks.